Okay, in this example, we have another example of a mixed factoring practice. Now that we've learned all different kinds of patterns of factoring for our polynomials, we're going to start to identify which path or which pattern we want to follow to get the correct factorization. So as always, our flow chart is going to prove to be very helpful here. We always start by removing a GCF. But when I look at 8x squared minus 33x plus 4, I notice that there's nothing in common, so I can go on to the next step. So now I want to identify how many terms I have. This is a trinomial, so I have 3 terms, and it's not a perfect square trinomial. The reason I know it's not a perfect square trinomial is because my lead coefficient's 8, and 8 is not a perfect square. Even though the last term is a 4, and that is a perfect square, the first term is not. So I can go on and safely say it's not a perfect square trinomial. So I'm going to use the AC method to factor this basic trinomial. So what I'm going to do is first find A times C. So 8 times 4 gives me 32. So I need factors of 1 and 32 that'll add up to negative 33. I need factors of 32 that'll add up to negative 33. Well, my choices are 1 and 32. I don't need to continue my list from there because I know I've picked the correct choices, as long as I make them both negative, because they have to add up to negative 33. So now I'm going to rewrite my trinomial as a 4-term polynomial. So I'm going to rewrite it as 8x squared minus 32x minus 1x plus 4. You'll notice I switched the order than I had in my chart. I wanted the minus 32x to be paired with the 8x squared just because it seemed more natural to me to see the GCF of 8x. So when I look at 8x squared minus 32x, they have a GCF of 8x, and it leaves behind x minus 4. In the second 2 terms, I have minus 1x plus 4. The leading coefficient's negative 1. That means I have to use negative 1 as my GCF. And then there's a sign change, and it leaves behind x minus 4. But remember, when your binomials match, it means you're on the right path. So this is a good thing that I had to change my sign, because now I have matching binomials. So the 8x minus 1 make up the first binomial, and then the x minus 4 makes up the second binomial. I invite you to do FOIL on your own to check and make sure that you get back to your original trinomial. But we have found the correct factorization, 8x minus 1 times x minus 4.